If it wasn't for the microphone in her hand and the words on here, you would be like, who did this to you? Who do we have to call? Do you need help? Blink one time if you need help. If you are requiring the police, hello, welcome back to Everything Super Peachy, right? If you have the time, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting below if anything you hear rings true to you. Slippery slopes. Long as I've lived, there's always been an outcry of some form of fashion relating to the slippery slope. It was with video games, music, violence in movies and TVs. They always seem to put emphasis in the fact that when young adults, young children are exposed to something, it's going to get such a foothold on society that things are going to get bad for any and everybody. The video games, they try to connect it to crime on the street, car stealings violently, with the music, you know, it's still not, even though personally I think it's gotten way worse now. But anyway, the violence in movies and TVs, even what's funny is the violence that was in movies and TV back in the day is now acceptable on TV. If you watch old Kung Fu movies, they pulled it off because they thought it was too violent. But now on various shows, they may not show the projectiles entering the body and the splattering, but it's pretty much, it's way worse than any Kung Fu movie that I remember seeing as a young teenager, even before a teenager. So the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about is a slippery slope, which is which is very easy for me to see. And it's already here. I don't see it going back, correcting, mitigating, minimizing, or anything. It's done. And ironically, it's not done at the hands of who is deemed the primary perpetrators of DV.
And this female soldier in red said she could whoop any Marine. The bell rings and boom, she's down already.
Now, this is on a military base. You know, if it wasn't for the camera, nobody would see the nonsense that is going on in the ring because a woman decided to say that she could go toe-to-toe with any man in the military.
Infuriated by the knockdown, she pushes forward, easily dodging her punch, but it all ends with a solid right hand that flat.
Now, what exactly did she feel she had to prove? Based on the video, it says she called out anybody to step into the ring. Now, I'm trying to understand what exactly was she hoping for? Was she expecting to win outright, or was she looking for a draw? Because either one of those, I don't see the payoff. What would she as the individual gain from getting a draw or winning, or through word of mouth, i.e. the internet, what would women get as a collective of her stepping into the ring, calling a man out, and beating him or getting a draw? What would she hope to gain for herself or womanhood?
Was he in the wrong for fighting her?
I mean, she called him out. She called any and everybody out, and somebody stepped in. Why is he in the wrong? Why is he in the wrong? Two adults agreed upon terms in the ring. Why is he wrong? Why would he be the monster when she said, I can beat the monster? Now, let's gear broadcast for the world to see, or at least paying customers. I'm trying to understand is this worth it? Is the money that she was promised worth stepping into the ring with a man, a complete stranger, a combatant who was trained similarly or exactly like she was trained? Is the money good enough to go through this? This end result of her, I take no joy in seeing this. And I don't think most men take joy in seeing a woman get manhandled like this. I don't think. She got handled. Yeah. Why? Why would any woman want to voluntarily go up against a man, contract signed, money agreed upon? Why would you want to go into the ring? To hope for a win or a draw? What that money? Is that money worth what she got? She got dealt with. I don't see the upside to this.
Boxing history is about to be made thanks to the two ladies in the ring, the one you're staring at, the real deal, Amanda Serrano.
Now, the history that they are celebrating is what was once a 2-minute round for women's boxing is now a 3-minute round, just like the men. So it's a celebration because we get to watch women get punched in the face and the stomach from what was once for at max 20 minutes to now we get to enjoy the carnage for a total of 36 minutes. This is worth celebrating.
And Danila Ramos. Round 1 of 12, 3-minute rounds. Let's go.
Why? Why is this a celebration? I don't get this. I just. Now you heard that, right? She said, I'm more of a man than you. Matt Walsh did a documentary talking about what is a woman. Should check it out. Very eye-opening I personally feel the delusion that is going on right now. But now we have two women who are clearly women arguing over who is more of a man. This is insanity. This is insanity.
Keith Thurman is not that great of a boxer. Would I get in the ring and try to go blow Keith Thurman? No, I'm not a dummy. But I'm bigger than Keith Thurman. I'm a woman, but I'm bigger. Mm-hmm. I'm longer. Mm. I got better skill. You talking about, oh, he only got to land once? He only got to land more than once to get me out of there. But how is he going to take the punch that I give to him? Keith Thurman can't take no body shot.
Now, she is literally measuring herself against a man. This is insanity, in my personal opinion. Women have no reason to compare themselves to a man when it comes to acts of violence. Boxing is an act of violence. It's a combat sport. There is no reason a woman should be scoping out the area saying, I can beat him because I'm bigger. That's a whole nother subject. I'm stronger. As she says, look, why? Of all the things that a female can scan the area for, is it to say, oh, well, that man, I can beat him. Everything else in the world, I don't know, I can be a better mother than Michelle Obama. I can be a better cook than my grandmother. I can... And yeah, you're going to say, oh, you're putting this in degenerates. Look, this is not good. Wanted to go head to head with a man, this is not good.
The morning after. Look, Clarissa, please, Clarissa. And look, I love you like a play cousin. You my girl. Love you, girl. But listen, stop with the Keith Thurman shit.
Shout out to Showbiz the Adult putting this out here. When I first heard about Clarissa Shields talking about she wanted to fight Keith Thurman, I was caught off guard. I was like, what is going on? Why? Because there are not enough women in her sport for her to fight. It's been documented. They fight the same women over and over and over again because it is so thin with women who want to go and fight in these combat sports. Especially boxing. MMA is a little different. Karate, different. But boxing, women in mass do not want to get punched in the face for a living. So, because there's nobody else for her to dominate because she's the quote-unquote GWOAT, Showbiz will explain it, but because there's nobody else to fight, she says, well, I gotta stay busy. I'm getting bored. I don't know. But she wants to fight this individual here. My opinion, insanity.
Stop. Listen, Clarissa, the only thing you're doing is being damn disrespectful. Okay? And I know I tell jokes about Keith Thurman. I know I do. Keith, one time, right? I know what I do. I'm joking. But what you're doing is damn disrespectful. I don't care the kind of success that you have in sparring with men. I'm going to tell you something that you don't know, Clarissa. Any man who is a real man isn't going to try to cock back and beat up a woman.
Now, I disagree with him on this part. She knows. She knows. My personal opinion. She picked out a light-skinned dude. who lives in the United States. He's going to go into a little bit further, but it seemed deliberately calculated to me because she picked out a light-skinned dude because there, especially in the United States, there are a hell of fighters from Russia, Ukraine, Dagestan, Spain, Ecuador, Cuba, DR, all these other places. She could have chose to say, well, I want to call this one out. I want to fight him. But because she knows that if she were to fight any of these boxers from another country, there would be no governor on that individual. There would not be any shackles, handcuffs, arms tied behind his back because she's other. They absolutely, not saying that they're not men, but they would absolutely, because she is other, they would absolutely go after her full throttle, wide open, 7th gear, redlining, because she's other. But she, again, she's a dark-skinned female, and she's trying to fight a light-skinned male. That's deliberate. Showbiz says, oh, well, she don't know. No, she knows. This is deliberate, in my opinion, that she called out that light-skinned dude to fight him. A, lives in the U.S., B, light-skinned. The optics of a light-skinned dude beating on a dark-skinned woman, not good on top of that.
All right? No real man, okay? Listen, I don't care if the man ever thrown a punch in his life, and she's a 3rd-degree dragon. No man is going to try to cock back and knock a woman's head off to win. No man, all right? Listen, Carissa.
And then on top of that, she's putting this man in a position where it's a lose-lose. If he gets into the ring with her and goes and treats her like any other combatant who signed the contract, agreed upon the terms, and stepped into the ring, if he does what he naturally does to anybody standing in that other corner, he loses. Why are you going to put your hands on that woman like that? You know you didn't have to. But if he dances around the ring and takes her lightly, does the Apollo Creed against Ivan Drago, smiling and circling the ring, and he gets clipped. Oh, he will never live that down. He could have unified and been undisputed in 3-4 different weight classes, but that meme of him getting clipped or knocked out will supersede any and all of his accomplishments before that actual incident. So it's a lose-lose.
Look, you are the GOAT, okay? You're the greatest woman boxer of all time or whatever. Really, that's actually debatable, all right? Because, Carissa, you can't punch through a wet paper bag, and I love you like a play cuss, all right? I can't even imagine you knocking somebody out. I can't remember the last time you did that. So if Keith one time, Thurman, were to put his guard up and just steamroll you, bull rush you, and just start hitting you with the hardest, fastest shots he possibly could to knock you out, to beat you up, I don't care if he loses. Every man who's worth anything in that stadium is going to be waiting outside to whip his ass. All right? So at the very least, at the bare minimum, what you're doing is disrespecting Keith Thurman. But if y'all were to fight, what you're actually doing is getting his ass whipped by every man who breathes oxygen from the point he beats you until he's in the hospital. Every man who sees him is going to whip his ass.
And she knows this. she knows that man can't go out there and do what he does naturally. His house will get burned down. His children, I believe he has children, his children will have their lives threatened. His gym that he may own or run is done. He would have to leave the country. There is nothing he could do in this country if he were to get in a ring and actually touch her. Because dark skin, light skin, and then he lives in the United States. She chose, my opinion, she chose him deliberately.
All right, so please, listen, real quick before I finish this topic.
So now all of this is with padded gloves, at least. Look at what women are voluntarily getting into. Here's a warning. If you are squeamish, if you are uncomfortable with what in any other circumstance would look like a DV, what is that called? Images similar to the Rihanna photos after the Chris Brown incident, even though it was not cut and dry like she made it out to be. But anyway, if you are squeamish, if you are uncomfortable with looking at images like that, you need to just stop the video right now. I'm just letting you know you've been warned. So now we have women in bare knuckle fighting. Now, I'm not sure if this is in the United States or not, but this is where it has evolved to. Women in bare knuckle fighting sports. If it wasn't for the microphone in her hand and the words on here, you would be like, who did this to you? Who do we have to call? Do you need help? Blink one time if you need help. If you are requiring the police, you are requiring medical aid, please give us a signal so we know that we need to get on it, because this is a horrible look for anybody, especially a female. And I don't care, this is a horrible look for a woman to voluntarily get into a sport where the outcome looks like this. And as you can see in the words, even if I don't look like it, I enjoyed the whole process. She enjoyed the outcome of a bare knuckle fight where she looks like this. No slippery slope. You don't see any slippery slope. Okay. This is the winner of the fight. Obviously, she's more talented, more skillful, ... I would not say she would look like this if she was in the ring with a man. I don't think so. That's just me personally. Could be wrong. I don't think so. Here's the slippery slope I'm talking about. Now, I just went online and just Googled DV posters. Now, if you look at the posters, black eye, covered up face, black eye, that might be the same one. Let me see. Black eye. Okay, they got 1 in 3 men, but we all know nobody cares about men who are in domestic violence situations. Nobody cares. Let me see. Black eye. Black eye. Black eye. Don't care about the men. Black eye. Black eye. Teary eye. So if black eye, if this is the norm to express to the world the violence that is enacted upon women in a negative context, are we or should we be concerned that this will become so normalized that nobody will care? Nobody will care. Black eye. Black eye. If we see enough of women in combat sports celebrating violence enacted upon them, willingly getting into the ring with men, getting thrashed. I don't like seeing this, but I have to show this. Okay. I grew up in a time when females actually fought. It was considered a cat fight. There was a lot of slapping. There was a lot of scratching, hair pulling, and generally trying to tear the clothes off to embarrass the girl. If you got the shirt off, she probably cover up because she didn't want people to see her in her bra. Or tear off the bra because she really doesn't want people to see her boobs. But now, things have devolved to the point where women fight. I'm talking about street fights. Fight. Boobs are swinging. Fight. No underwear on. I can't remember the last time I seen a quote-unquote cat fight where women are slapping each other or scratching. I mean, you can't even tell about hair pulling because most of it just comes right out because it ain't real hair, but nonetheless, things have devolved to the point where women are fighting like men. Is that good? How is women fighting like men good for society? How is women fighting like men good for little girls coming up behind them? This is a slippery slope that is not being addressed. Oh, we're making history. 3-minute rounds, finally. A woman punching each other in the face and stomach. Oh, I enjoyed the process. Black eye, split lip. I'm assuming some teeth knocked out. Maybe they weren't in there. All types of contusions, bruising, swelling. Celebrating this. This is not a slippery slope that everybody needs to be concerned with. Hold on one second. Showbiz. Let me see.
Keith one time Thurman were to put his guard up and just steamroll you, bull rush you, and just start hitting you with the hardest, fastest shots he possibly could to knock you out, to beat you up. I don't care if he loses. Every man who's worth anything in that stadium is going to be waiting outside to whip his ass.
Okay, aren't you concerned that at some point in time, there won't be no rush to defend y'all? And I know you're going to say, oh, well, they're signing up for, they're trained, they're... No, there are women in the street fighting like this. There are women in the street challenging men, punching on men. Like I said, nobody cares about domestic violence when it's men are concerned. It's all over YouTube. High school. Girls punching on other boys, and they just gotta turn and eat it, because if they do anything, they're wrong. They're monsters. Handcuffed, like I said. When you're looking at a vehicle, when you're looking at vehicles that on the back of it said this vehicle can't go faster than 70 miles per hour or 65 or whatever it is, 50 maybe. They got a governor on there. Without the governor, you get up to 120 easily, no problem. But because it's for a specific purpose, it says, well, there's really no reason for you to go 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. As this is a work vehicle for a company, we don't want you causing an accident. So they put a governor on there, a restrictor or whatever, to keep it from doing what it would naturally do. So, like Showbiz says, so if Keith one time Thurman were to go and do what he has trained a majority of his life to do, oh, there's people out there going to meet him and Like I said, lost his home, businesses. Nobody will touch him with a 10-foot pole if he were to haul off and just lay her out. That high schoolers dealing with girls who are significantly smaller than them, taking abuse from them because, A, there's no reason to hit a girl. That's a lie. There are plenty of reasons, but the negatives that can come with it far outweigh, well, she asked for it. Let's be truthfully honest about it. Like he said, oh, if he does this to Clarissa Shields, oh, people wait for him from the time he gets out the ring to the time he's actually admitted to ICU. He is going to be dealing with them males who are not males, men jumping on him because of what he did. That you think that only exists in high school, middle school? But in turn, you have women who are voluntarily signing the contract, getting paid to get punched in the face, punched in the stomach, eye swole, lip split, teeth knocked out. At some point in time, the response to men are going to get lesser and lesser because we see what y'all are saying. Oh, I can do this. I'm more of a man than you. I'm equal to you. I can get a draw or I can beat you. At some point in time, if these types of chasing to prove something to somebody for some reason, at some point in time, you're going to have less and less of people saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. This is a slippery slope. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. This is a slippery slope. You've got to address the fact that women voluntarily getting into these arenas, women voluntarily signing on the dotted line, women voluntarily saying this is enough to go through this is problematic. This is not good for the little girls. Little girls who are convinced, oh, well, no man will put his hands on her. She will get bolder and bolder until she meets the dude that is willing to. And the more you see females in these combat sports, the more normalizing it will be for men to outside of the ring. I'm just saying, is this a good look? Is this a good look? Little white girl, little black girl, little Hispanic girl, little Asian girl, it doesn't matter. Is this a good look? This is all I want to say. This is where we are, but this is where we're heading.